Good afternoon, dear students. Today we are going to discuss about DNA fingerprinting. Before this, we have discussed about polymerase chain reaction and that you know. Okay. What is DNA fingerprinting? Let us discuss. Distinguishing an individual according to their DNA print. Okay. Distinguishing the individuals according to their DNA print pattern. Using DNA restriction analysis is called as DNA fingerprinting. Okay, so DNA fingerprinting will help you to identify an individual and distinguish one individual from another on the basis of their DNA print using DNA restriction analysis. This technique of DNA fingerprinting was developed by Alec Jeffreys in the year 1984. DNA fingerprinters do not consider or they do not analyze the DNA in the genes. Rather, they consider junk DNA or satellite DNA or VNTR region, that is variable number tandem repeat region. Satellite DNA are unique to an individual and hence they help in distinguishing one individual from the another. Satellite DNA is a non-coding region of eukaryotic cells having tandem repeats of a sequence. Okay. So satellite DNA is the non-coding region in a eukaryote and it is having tandem repeats. It is also called mini satellite. It is rich in GC content and 9 to 40 base pairs in size. The use of DNA restriction analysis to distinguish the DNA of an individual from that of any other person is DNA fingerprinting. Okay, so using DNA restriction analysis to distinguish the DNA of an individual from the other or to identify the individuality of a person, this technique is called as DNA fingerprinting. It analyzes genotypic information present in the DNA to distinguish one person from another, and that to which region is analyzed? The satellite DNA or VNTR region. DNA fingerprinting provides you a positive evidence of a person's identity or the person's relationship with another person. Okay. Now, so DNA fingerprinting involves the use of DNA probe that will hybridize with hypervariable mini satellite region of the DNA. Okay, DNA fingerprinting involves the use of DNA probes. What are DNA probes? Short oligonucleotide sequence, okay, which are mostly radio labeled, having sequence complementary to the target DNA which you want to, you can say, identify, right? So the DNA fingerprinting involves using DNA probes, which will hybridize with hypervariable mini satellite region of the DNA, also called as VNTR region or variable number tandem repeats. Now, if you look at the technique or method of DNA fingerprinting, what are the steps that are involved? First, DNA fingerprinting will require small sample of the tissue from which the DNA of an individual can be extracted. So we require some sample from which we can get the DNA. So it requires a small sample like a tissue. If the sample quantity is very small, if the DNA quantity obtained from the sample is very less, then we can amplify the DNA by polymerase chain reaction. That is why I said we have discussed PCR. So you know now what is PCR. So if the sample DNA is very less, then we can go for PCR to amplify the DNA. If we have enough of DNA, maybe that step is not needed. Okay, so the DNA can be obtained from which kind of cells? White blood cells in blood, cells at the root of fallen hairs or plugged hairs, from the semen, from clothes or vaginal swabs, and skin fragments. DNA molecule present in the initial reaction mixture can be amplified by polymerase chain reaction. So what are the steps? Step number 1, extraction of DNA, digestion of the DNA, and loading of DNA on agarose gel. So firstly, we extract the DNA from the cell, whatever tissue or cells we have collected, we extract the DNA from the cell. Okay, DNA isolation we have already studied. So DNA is extracted from the cell with the enzyme proteinase K and dithiotritol, and it is further purified. It can be amplified by PCR if required. The purified DNA is then digested with restriction enzymes. So it will cut. The restriction enzymes are made for cutting the DNA at restricted site having definite recognition sequence. The enzyme, restriction enzyme cuts the DNA at restriction sites flanking mini satellite, okay, besides the mini satellite at several places. So the DNA fragment, DNA will be cut at several places, especially restriction site flanking the mini satellite, to produce DNA fragments. This digested DNA fragment, which is double-stranded, is now loaded into wells of agarose gel. That means we separate the fragments by performing agarose gel electrophoresis. Okay, so the digested DNA fragments are double-stranded. They are separated by agarose gel electrophoresis. And the technique is already discussed here, already discussed in earlier lectures. Now, the second thing is electrophoresis and denaturation. The DNA fragments after performing agarose gel electrophoresis are separated in agarose gel. Now, the double-stranded DNA cannot undergo hybridization with the probe. So, the double-stranded DNA has to be denatured so that double strands get converted into single strand. Okay, so denaturation is done to convert double-stranded DNA into single-stranded state. This is done in the agarose gel by soaking the gel in sodium hydroxide. Okay, so NaOH alkaline treatment is given so that double-stranded DNA, the hydrogen bonds break, double-stranded DNA get converted into single-stranded DNA, and then we have to neutralize the gel by soaking in tris buffer. The third step, Southern blotting. The denatured DNA fragments are transferred from gel to the nitrocellulose membrane filter. Okay, the denatured DNA fragments present on the gel are now transferred to nitrocellulose membrane filter or nylon membrane filter by capillary action. This is called as Southern blotting. Now, the nitrocellulose filter membrane is removed because the DNA fragments, single-stranded DNA fragments, have been transferred from gel to the nitrocellulose membrane filter or nylon membrane filter, and it is baked in vacuum at 80 degrees to fix the DNA permanently on the filter at its position. Okay, at its particular position, we want to fix the DNA permanently to the filter. So we bake it at 80 degrees Celsius. If you are using nylon membrane filter, DNA is not fixed by baking or cross-linking the strands. Okay, DNA is fixed by baking or by cross-linking the strands by UV light. Now, the next step is exposure to probe. The nylon membrane, the nitrocellulose membrane after baking is now allowed to undergo hybridization with the DNA probe, which are labeled with P32 isotope. Okay, so you have to incubate your nitrocellulose membrane having DNA fragments and allow it to undergo hybridization with DNA probe. So it is incubated with DNA probes. The filter is now hybridized with the DNA probe, which is labeled with P32 isotope. So for that, it is kept at 60 degrees Celsius for 16 to 24 hours. So during this incubation period, what will happen? The labeled probe will specifically hybridize with the mini satellite sequences present in the DNA fragments. Okay, the labeled probe will hybridize with mini satellite region present in the DNA fragment. The unbound probes are needed to be removed by washing. The next step is autoradiography. The filter, the nitrocellulose membrane filter, is stringently washed to remove all the traces of unbound probes. All unbound probes need to be removed. So it is stringently washed, carefully washed, okay, so that all unbound probes are removed. And then it is dried and it is overlaid with an X-ray film for autoradiography. So we perform X-ray autoradiography. Okay. We have to study the autoradiograph. So you can see exposed dark bands on the developed film. On the developed film, you can see dark bands. The exposed dark bands on the developed film represent the position. So the place where the dark bands are present is going to represent the position of the mini satellite sequence, which has hybridized with the probe. Okay. So the places where the mini satellites have hybridized with the DNA probe, you can see dark colored bands. Exposed dark bands on the developed film represent the position of the mini satellite sequence on the agarose gel. All DNA print on the X-ray film together constitute a DNA fingerprint pattern of an individual. Okay, all the DNA print on the X-ray film together constitute the DNA fingerprint pattern. Okay, now the analysis of the DNA fingerprint pattern need to be done. Okay, once you perform, so what are the different steps? So step number 1, isolating the DNA. Step number 2, treating with restriction enzymes. Then agarose gel electrophoresis to separate the DNA fragments. Then denaturation of DNA by treating with alkali to convert double-stranded DNA into single-stranded DNA. And then transferring the DNA fragments from the gel to the nitrocellulose membrane, then baking the nitrocellulose membrane to fix the DNA, then incubate the nitrocellulose membrane with the DNA probe, then wash the unbound probe, perform X-ray autoradiography, study the autoradiogram, and then perform the analysis of the DNA fingerprint pattern. The DNA fingerprint pattern, if we are solving a criminal case, then the DNA fingerprint pattern of accused and criminal are then matched in criminal cases. If there are paternal disputes or child and parents, then the fingerprint pattern of the child and the parents are compared for paternity disputes, etc. Okay, so if there is a criminal case, then the fingerprint pattern of the accused and the criminal are compared and matched. And if there is any paternity dispute, then the bands of child and parents are compared for sorting out the paternity dispute. Okay, here we can see a brief protocol. So you have DNA of victim, say X. Then these are the 3 suspected persons who are supposed to be criminals, number 1, number 2, and number 3. The DNA of the victim is extracted out from the cell which has been recovered from the spot of the criminal case, treated with restriction enzyme. Okay, once it is treated with restriction enzyme, the DNA of the victim and DNA fragments of the victim DNA has been done. Then we amplify it by PCR and perform agarose gel electrophoresis and carry out the separation of the DNA fragments. At the same time, the 3 suspected criminals are called. Say any sample, body tissue sample or blood sample is collected, the DNA is extracted, then the DNA of all the 3 suspected criminals is subjected to restriction digestion, PCR to amplify the DNA. Then along with the victim's DNA, the gel electrophoresis of all DNA of all suspected persons is also performed. So gel electrophoresis of suspect and the victim and the suspected persons is performed. Once the gel electrophoresis is over, southern blotting is done to transfer the DNA fragments on the nitrocellulose membrane, baking the membrane, okay, treating the alkali treatment and all, baking the membrane, and then incubation at 60 degrees with the DNA probe. Allow the hybridization to undergo, wash the unbound probes, then perform X-ray autoradiography and study the autoradiogram. So here you can see there is a DNA fingerprint pattern shown here. X, A, B, and C. X is the victim, is the DNA fingerprint pattern. The first line represents the DNA fingerprint pattern of the victim. The second line, suspect A, suspect B, and suspect C, suspected criminals. Now, if you look at the DNA fingerprint pattern of X, then you can see that, see, this is not the DNA of the victim. Actually, it is the DNA collected from the site of the crime. Okay, maybe the victim has plucked the hairs of the criminal, or maybe he has scratched his skin. So the tissue samples collected from the nails, or any other sample collected from the, you can say, clothes or hairs plucked from the suspected person. So that is the, this is not the DNA of victim. DNA of the, you can say, sample collected from the site of crime from the victim, right? So if you look at fingerprint pattern of X and A, you can see that the DNA fingerprint pattern of X and A completely matches. And the B and C suspected criminals have different kind of DNA. So this indicates clearly that A is the criminal and the crime has been committed by the suspected person represented by number 1 or A. This is how DNA fingerprint pattern can help us in resolving criminal cases or even the paternity disputes. So this is how we can use DNA fingerprint pattern to solve the criminal cases or to solve the paternity disputes.